everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today on Comics from the Future. We're so happy to have you here and show you all the newest comics that are coming out. We got new ongoing series, variant covers, and just a bunch of other cool stuff that we can't wait to show you. But before we get started, please take a second to hit subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're growing and growing every day. We really appreciate all of you who watch. In case you don't know, my name's Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with infinityfluxcomics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That's right. And I already said everything you need to know about what this show is. We do it every single Friday, so you can get your orders into your store by Sunday for most items, but especially DC, it's due by Sunday, and then some other things you can get in by Monday. So, all right, well, we are going to get into it.
Yep, it's a good week, some cool books that you can pre-order. So let's start with our featured comics. Beginning with one from DC, it is Batman Fortress. So this is another Batman miniseries. It's going to be 8 issues. But check this out. They got writer Gary Whitta on this. He is the writer of Star Wars Rogue One. So that's pretty cool. These Hollywood people finally figuring out comics are the way to go. They've been going the wrong way. You got to get into the comic money. Get out of that screenwriting.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, no, Gary Whitta, excellent writer. The writer of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, doing a Batman tale. So check this out. Here's the premise. An alien spaceship shows up and flies into Earth's atmosphere, and it disrupts communication and power. Now you can imagine how bad that would be. Globally, power is disrupted and communication. It's all down. I mean, that's a catastrophe. Well, so the Justice League needs to form up and try to, stop this and try to help people of the world. Well, Superman's missing. Like, right when the world needs him, he's gone. So big mystery on where is Superman. Batman instead has to all by himself pull the Justice League together and try to do something about this worldwide problem and these aliens. But at the same time, guess what? He's from Gotham. So guess what happens when Gotham, when the lights go out and police can't call each other? A crime wave. So huge crime wave. Batman's trying to deal with that. He's trying to deal with the global catastrophe. So that's the premise of Batman Fortress. I'm really interested because of the writer, personally, but this is also, as much as it's a Batman story, it's also, I think, a low-level Superman story. Like, where is he? Why is he missing? Aliens show up and he's gone. So that's the premise for Batman Fortress, and we have this variant cover by DOALY.
I think it's interesting, someone like Gary Whitta. I wonder if they do this and then, a year from now they go to a studio and be like, hey, I actually wrote a Batman. How about we just turn it into a movie? Yeah. I've already got it all. I've got all my notes.
I had the screenplay in the back of my head the whole time.
Yep. Okay, next up is another anticipated one for people even outside of the regular comic book community, because this is Fortnite X Marvel Zero War. So we had the Batman Fortnite crossover not that terribly long ago. We had a one-shot. Now they're crossing over with Marvel. This is a bridge between the two big companies with Fortnite. So you can imagine what this is going to be about. It is it's the Fortnite universe. Something happens where a fragment of the 0 point, which is kind of what a lot of Fortnite centers around, is shot into the Marvel universe, and it is up to Spider-Man and Wolverine, and they're teaming up with a bunch of Fortnite characters to try and stop the Order from getting the piece and wreaking havoc. It sounds like it's going to be not just them, but a lot of Marvel characters, a lot of Fortnite characters coming together, have big fights. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. And this will also have a code to download something in the game. Wonder where they got that idea.
I've never heard of that before. That's so original.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that only the first issue has the code. I've heard people say no, they all have the code. But from what I could tell, at least the first issue, only the first printing is going to have the code. So make sure you jump on it when this comes out. Get the first printing so you can get the skin or whatever it's going to be item in the game. We don't know what it is yet, but this is going to be written by Christos Gage. The art is by Sergio Davila, and we have a cover by Lionel Francis Yu. So, and we have a Donald Mustard variant. He's kind of one of the head writers of Fortnite.
Mhm.
He's involved in this as well.
He is the Fortnite guy. He co-scripted the DC Fortnite
Yeah.
crossover.
Then we have the Ron Lim variant. And we have the SIENKIEWICZ variant. So this is going to be really big. If it's anything like the DC one, no store was truly prepared for how big this was going to be. Especially even once issue 2s and 3s come out. That's more about the time people hear about it and they rush to their store. So if you want this, let your store know as soon as possible so they can get their orders in.
All right, next up, for all you Unnatural fans, we have a Volume 2 to Unnatural. It is called Unnatural Blue Blood, and it's another 10-part mini-series, between a mini and a maxi series, from Mirka Andolfo. She is writing it, and we have art from Ivan Bigarella, but Mirka will periodically be doing original artwork in here as well, so that's pretty cool. So basically, if you're not familiar with the original premise, it's been a few years since Leslie has had to save the world from hidden dangers and discover her true nature in the process. And you know how it goes. You think everything's going fine, but new threats are about to disrupt her life as she thinks it's settled. So this was a really big hit. I think this was the first Mirka Andolfo.
That's where we really heard her name.
Correct.
Yeah, and she's Italian, right?
Yes.
And they just have a really different sensibility over there. So and you can really tell that it's really good storytelling.
It's refreshing
overall
to read something from kind of coming from a different place.
Mm-hmm. So if you have not read the original Unnatural, there's still trade paperbacks available of that for you to go check out. But this is a really cool series. So there's a preview available as well on Previews World if you want to check out the first few pages. And we got a couple different covers for it. We have the Andolfo cover A, and this is the Bigarella cover B, and then a blank cover.
Yeah, Natural surprised me. It was a lot darker than I expected it to be.
It kind of touted itself as one thing, and by the end, you're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Cults and conspiracies and governments.
A lot of killing, too, and of major characters you wouldn't expect getting killed. All right, so from DC, they are again doing DC Pride for 2022 for Pride Month. This, of course, is going to have 13 all-new stories highlighting LGBTQIA+ characters, including John Kent, Nubia, Tim Drake, Kid Quick, Jackson Hyde, Joe Mullen, Harley Quinn, Batwoman, Poison Ivy, and more. So 13 stories. We've seen enough of these. Everybody knows what to expect. It's anthology style, a lot of good, just standalone tales. So we have this cover, and then we got Joshua Sway is doing a cover. So it's going to be a wraparound. This is one side of it. And then here is the other side of it.
I wonder how you choose when you're designing the cover. It's like, well, this side's going to be the front, so we've got to make sure the front, we have special front characters. And
well, you know, it's true. And you see the colors in the backgrounds match the character colors to some degree. We got the red of Batwoman, the orange of Jackson Hyde.
Oh.
So maybe it started a left to right color thing to him or something.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Okay, next up is one really cool. It's funny now, we don't get as much Hellboy content as we did a few years ago, so I'm always excited when they announce something new. This is just a one-shot, but I love the idea of this one. This is Hellboy and the BPRD Night of the Cyclops one-shot, and this is about Hellboy is finishing up a job in Greece when he is pulled into another adventure by a goat who sends him on that adventure. So Hellboy is thrust into the world of Greek gods and myths and monsters. I'm guessing a Cyclops or two. So it should be really, really fun. Of course, Mike Mignola is behind a lot of this as well. We have an A cover for this and the Mignola B cover.
I think it's a good time to mention that our local film festival, the Chattanooga Film Festival, which is a big deal, like it's nationally, people come all over, internationally even, to see it. It is online this year. It used to be live. They've moved to online for the now, ever since the pandemic. There is a documentary on Mike Mignola called Mike Mignola Drawing Demons.
Drawing Monsters.
Drawing Monsters. And our store, we're sponsoring the showing of that because we're such huge Mignola Hellboy fans. Yeah, we always sponsor the festival, and this year they're like, we're getting a Mignola documentary, and we're like, yes, take
That
our
fits
money.
great.
Let us have our name alongside of that. So yeah, check out Chattanooga Film Festival. It's going to be in June, and it is online. Anyone can watch it.
All right, next up, this is cool. This is DC versus Vampires. It's spinning into DC versus Vampire Hunters. So this is a one-shot featuring Damian Wayne, and he is a vampire hunter. He spent years training to be an assassin, and now he's going to destroy the vampire race. It's going to be super bloody and super cool. This is also, there's going to be a one-shot for Harley Quinn, and she's going to be a vampire slayer. So, not sure. It's been like teased out there that maybe these will cross over. Maybe they'll end up teaming up together. So that could be interesting. But this is just a one shot for all you DC vampire fans. Give it a check out. Give it a check out. This is
Take it to the checkout and buy it.
Yes, this is your cover A, and then we have a cover B from MICO SUAYAN.
That's an homage of Robin.
It's one of the Robin series,
Miniseries, yeah.
back from the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
Might have come with a holographic card.
Okay, so now we're going to get to other number ones, beginning with My Little Pony. That's right. After all those issues, IDW is restarting the series back at another number one. My niece, I think she'll be excited for it. She's been getting all the My Little Ponies for ages, but every year she grows up a little more and more wants different things. I honestly have to ask her if we have to put her on this or not. If she wants it, she will get it. So this is going to follow the events of the Netflix movie. Yeah, so the movie is sort of bridging into this new series, which is ongoing. So this is our regular cover, and then here is the JUSTASUTA variant for My Little Ponies number one.
It's okay that they're doing a number one because that first series went like 100
some issues.
Yeah, it's like they're not rebooting it every couple issues. No. They had a really good run,
and we still had plenty of people on it too.
Oh yeah, they were very upset when it got canceled. Yeah. Okay, next up is Brian Michael Bendis's Pearl. This is Pearl 3, number 1. So this series has bounced around from publishers. Wherever Bendis goes, he takes his Jinx World properties with him. So if you were a fan of Pearl before, you'll definitely want to follow him over to Dark Horse. Of course, this is the story about a character named Pearl, and she is a tattoo artist for the Yakuza. So she learns a lot of secrets and dark stuff from doing that. So if that sounds like something you like, it's Bendis writing his very crime noir kind of stuff that he's really good at. You'll want to check this one out. Also, all the previous volumes are going to be, I think, republished through Dark Horse, but you can find them now, I think, still through DC. And this is our A cover for that one. And then we have a Peach Momoko cover. Really cool.
All right, this is neat. This is another miniseries for Elvira. This is Elvira in Horrorland, number 1. So basically, Elvira discovers in this that all the movies that she's watched create their own pocket reality, pocket universe. So she is lost in the multiverse of movies, and she has to find her way out. So I read some interviews with the writer of this, and he assures us that he knows all the Elvira puns and all the double entendres to make it the Elvira personality that you want to read and know and love. So, going to be another cool mini-series for Elvira, and got a bunch of different covers for it. So this is cover A. Then we have the Royal cover B. Cover C from Califano, and that is a Psycho homage.
Yeah, it seemed like the last one's kind of a Psycho homage too.
They did say Elvira's gone psycho. Okay. That was one of the subtitles.
So that's maybe the theme of these. All right.
And then we have a photo variant, and then we have a blank cover.
Okay, so now we're getting to cool covers and other comics. This is going to be where we show you a lot of awesome variants and also issue number 2s and 3s of recent series that began that you might want to remember what you thought of that number 1, decide if it's time to sign up for it or not. Beginning with Knights of X number 2. So Betsy Braddock has gathered together her Knights of X. and there are 10 of them, so it could also be Knights of 10. They could be
Oh,
playing
yeah.
that game again, like Powers of 10. But anyway, so it's pretty cool. She's put together sort of a mutant Knights of the Round Table, which, I mean, right off the bat, that's a great elevator pitch.
Yeah,
So
it is.
that's what's going on in the story if you missed number 1. And they're out to seek out the they're trying to stop Merlin, and they're trying to seek out pretty much the holy grail of mutantdom. So, I mean, just a strong premise right
Yeah.
there. I mean, even just to read number 1 to see the team that she gathers. Who does she choose to be on this team? So, Andy reviewed it on our show last week, and you were talking about how, one hint is it's all the characters who use conventional weapons.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense for knights. So, anyway, number 2 is available for order, and here is the Manahini variant for Knights of X number 2.
Also, Carnage number 3. So it's funny if you try to look up stuff about this Carnage number 3. The solicit basically just tells you the story of Carnage and what's he going to be doing. So I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know this cover is crazy cool with that very creepy face sticking out the side of his neck. Really cool. And so in it, we know that he has been targeting other heroes and villains and trying to take their powers. He has some version where he can take their powers and become kind of the ultimate Carnage. So we'll see what happens in this one. This is our A cover. Then we have the Brenda Scroll variant, or Beren's Scroll variant.
All right, this is Strange issue number 3, and the solicitation didn't say very much, but we know that Clea is trying to bring back Doctor Strange from the dead. In issue number 3 here, we have a few different covers. This is cover A, and then we have A Peach Momoko, cover B, and then the Romero Scroll variant. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so Bloodstained Teeth number 2 is available for order. Number 1 came out last week. It's a new vampire comic from Image. In vampire comics, it's all about what are the rules, what are the roles, what's the vampire culture like. In this, there's a vampire named Atticus Sloan. He is a vampire for hire, as in you can hire him to bite your neck. Now you're immortal. But guess what? There's a vampire high council that doesn't like that very much. And at the end of last issue, he got in a lot of trouble, and they are making him do something he does not want to do. So in this issue, he's trying to stay one step ahead of them, and it just looks like things aren't going too well. So this is Bloodstained Teeth number 2.
Tooth. He just gnaws on him with one tooth.
It starts with the tooth, and then it spreads to the teeth. And here is the Simmons variant for that. Of course, Simmons does a lot of Department of Truth covers. You can
tell,
see that trippiness in there.
Okay, next up we have Transformers Last Bot Standing number 2. Still waiting for that number 1, but it sounds like a very interesting story. Kind of your TMNT Last Ronin idea of the last Transformer. And in this one, he is going to meet the last survivors of a dying planet. So we don't really know who the last bot is currently. There's some ideas, and you can see on some of the covers. Maybe more keen-eyed Transformers fans can tell better than I can. But this is our A cover. Then we have our Allison variant. Then the Sidvin Blue variant. And the Stafford variant.
And these covers could be tricky too. They could be showing other Transformers from the past, his memory, his mind, things he discovers. So Last Ronin ended last week with issue number 5 that I highly recommend. And as people were coming in, I was telling them about this, and a lot of people have not heard of this.
Yeah.
I had several people I mentioned this to be like, "Oh, yeah, I need that now too." So I hope everyone's hearing about this Last Bot thing.
All right, Naughty List number 2. Number 1 dropped last week, and it was really well received. It's basically a retelling of Santa's story. Someone has stolen his naughty list and is killing people on it. Unfortunately, innocent people are getting in the way of these murders, so Santa, he can't take that. So if you want a violent Santa story, check this out. Number 2 is on the FOC this week, and it's just the one cover.
Okay, so this is the main cover for Avengers Forever #6. And so around the cover it tells you enter Vibranium Man. So this is told in an alternate Earth story where Wakanda has been decimated, but there's a man. His name is T'Challa, and he creates his own vibranium suit, becoming the Vibranium Man and forging a whole new legacy. So that's the premise for Avengers Forever #6.
That puts Iron Man to shame. Vibranium, that beats Iron any day.
Yep. And here is the Phil Noto scroll variant for that issue.
Okay, next up we have Star Wars Bounty Hunters #23, continuing the story of Dengar as he kind of rebels against some people who've done him wrong. But what I love about this one is the subtitle for this issue is Clear and Present Dengar. So really fun. And this is the variant, and they are doing these variants that are like Japanese artists kind of anime style variant. So this is the Miyazawa variant. And then we also have the Sprouse Lucasfilm 50th Anniversary variant. Then we have Darth Vader #23. This is the Okazaki variant, which is super cool. I love that he's been doing a lot of comic art now because it's radically different than stuff we've been seeing. And in this one, it's actually a new story arc where Vader heads on a new mission with teaming up with one of his greatest enemies, and it says the shocking return of a face from Vader's past. So not sure who that's going to be because there's been a few in this series. So
Yeah.
very cool. And the other variant for this is really nice. This is the Sprouse Lucasfilm variant, and that is the Bad Batch from the kind of sequel to Clone Wars and Rebels, Bad Batch on Disney Plus. And I believe this is the first time they've appeared in a comic or on a cover. So you'll definitely want to grab that one.
Okay, next up we have Action Comics #1043. This is the Tedesco variant, and in this, it is the next chapter of the War World saga, which is so hard to say. It's Superman's epic space adventure continues in this new arc, so do not miss it, and don't miss this awesome cover.
Okay, so this is the SUAYAN variant to Aquaman #4. And in this issue, the Atlantean sleeper agents are waking up around the world. And Aquaman's foreknowledge of this is straining his relationship with Jackson Hyde and Mara. They are not happy about him knowing about this, and they're trying to find out how long he's known about this. So again, this is the SUAYAN variant, and here is the Dan Mora variant for Aquaman #4.
Okay, next up is Deathstroke Inc. #9. This is still part of the Shadow War, and it says a tragic death sends the Shadow War into overdrive. So I'm wondering who that death's going to be because there's some very key players in this. And this is the super cool Chew variant with Ravager on it.
I hope they don't kill off Respawn too soon.
That would be very heartbreaking, considering
that's so
the story feels like it's
interesting.
just kicking off.
Yeah, between him and Damien, especially now that they've met.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Detective Comics 1060. This is the Bermejo variant cover, and we have a special appearance from Bruce Wayne in this comic. As he investigates the courtroom bombing that has occurred.
Looks like everybody wants to scratch Batman's back.
They just all want handshakes, you know?
He runs through with his hand out,
Yeah,
high-fiving them all.
They were bested fair and square. Okay, so this is the Derek Chew variant to Harley Quinn #15. I mean, this is just one to just let it, just take it all in. So in this, Harley Quinn is teaming up with Batwoman. I think Batwoman's going to spring her out of prison because somebody's been killing people, acting like it's Harley, but really it is the new villain, The Verdict. And the two of them are going to have to team up to try to find the verdict. And the solicitation also, it's done in Harley's voice. She claims that maybe they'll figure out who she is, and maybe the verdict's identity or possibly origin will finally be released. So once again, the Chew variant for Harley Quinn #15.
Then we have the DeMio variant for Robin, number 14. This is still part of the Shadow War. And it says it's Batman Inc. versus the League of Shadows versus the Secret Society. So this sounds like a very action-packed issue. We also have the Dexter Soy variant with Damien and Hawk on there.
And then we have some Swamp Thing. So this is Swamp Thing 13. The series has been extended to be 16 issues. So this is the cover B by Gist. And then we have cover C from... Oh, this is the Asian American Pacific Islander variant.
Okay, so this is the Todd Knock variant for Teen Titans Academy number 15, which is the final issue. Yeah, so they're ending Teen Titans Academy, and in this one, the students and the faculty meet in the shadow of the new Titans Tower, where they all kind of decide individually if this school is where they should be or not. So the Knock variant, Teen Titans number 15, final issue.
Okay, then we have some cool covers for Gunslinger Spawn. Great series. We have this A cover by Keen.
Just walking away from an explosion.
He doesn't care.
Yep.
We have a blank black sketch variant cover. And then we have the Brett Booth variant.
All right, we have Demons. It was here and then it was gone. Only 3 issues for this. The Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo run. Lots of different covers for the final issue. Which one of you have been reading this?
Me.
Yeah, anything to say?
I think it's incredible. I really do. I like Scott Snyder a lot. I've been reading Nocterra. I think Nocterra is awesome. This I might like even more.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, story just on point. Capullo's art. I mean, he just has all the experience of drawing Spawn demons all this long. I think everyone should read one issue, the first issue. You'll know if you like it or not by just reading the one issue. That's how.
Because it also kind of feels like 3 issues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get a good taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's see all the covers for it. This is the Capullo A cover, the Francavilla cover B. We have the foil version of the Capullo. And then we have the Christiana and Stern cover D.
You know, funny enough, I'll be talking more about this later because they're already soliciting the trade.
Oh, cool.
We'll get to that later in the
Okay.
show, though. So, okay, so this is the Aguado variant for Ice Cream Man number 30. So check this out. So Ice Cream Man, we're 30 issues in. This, the title of this issue is Experimental Storytelling.
Not like the entire thing has been.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's like that's how I feel Ice Cream Man has been since the start. That's why it's so good. That's why so many people are on it, read it. It's existential horror. So experimental storytelling is the new storyline, probably just for the issue. But here is the variant for Ice Cream Man 30.
I love that variant too. It's
cool.
So you just keep looking at it. There's so much weird stuff going on.
And it looks back at you.
It's true, with multiple eyes.
Step by Bloody Step.
Oh, that's me. This is issue 4 of Step by Bloody Step, and this is the Tula Lotte variant. Very cool to see her tackling these characters and everything.
This is, oh, I'm gonna choke. Live TV. This is Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 3 of 5. So basically in this issue, villainous monsters from the Godzilla and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers universes are joining forces to destroy the Power Rangers. This has been a really big hit here. We have sold out a couple of times, have to keep reordering it. So make sure you're aware of this. This is number 3. Got a couple different covers. This is the Freddie Williams main cover. And then we have the Alex Sanchez variant.
And Andy liked it so much he included the back of this variant, which is...
Nice.
Yep.
Yep.
So nice wraparound for the variant. Okay, so this is issue number 6 of Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. Now, typically we show these, I think, the covers of the main draw.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, this is the Linsner cover. You can tell right away. But I want to talk about the fact there's a new writer coming to this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is Steve D'Souza. And even the solicitation went on and on about all this stuff this guy's done. He once again is from Hollywood. He's getting into the comic game finally. So he has worked on, as a writer, Knight Rider, Die Hard #1, Die Hard #2, Commando, Running Man, like some
You mean my
awesome
entire catalog of movies?
yeah, some awesome 80s and 90s stuff. So yeah, so writer Steve D'Souza is taking over writing at this issue, and so this is the Linsner variant. Then we have the Rose Besh variant, and lastly we have the Sudum variant.
How'd she get out on that rock? And watch out for those crocodiles.
And she looked cold too.
She looked very cold.
Okay, so now we're getting to graphic novels and more. Typically second prints and things like that.
Yep, but no second prints this week. So
wow, yeah. That's uncommon.
First off is Absolute Swamp Thing, the Lin Wayne and Bernie Wrightson hardcover edition. They're doing this big fancy edition of the kind of original run of Swamp Thing. This is only $100. It's oversized, and it collects House of Secrets 92 and Swamp Thing 1 through 13. So you want the very beginning of a Swamp Thing's superhero career. It's a very good one to get.
And then we have, this is the Best Marvel Stories by Stan Lee omnibus. So this is pretty cool. So it's going to be $100. And yes, this is a hardcover. Good. Okay, 2 different covers here, but basically this is 900 pages of featuring a ton of different artwork, but mostly 70 years of stories of Stan Lee. And it's, what I think is really cool about this is it's going to cover like all his different genres too. It's supposed to. The solicitation was actually not that great. I had to dig on this, but it's going to be suspense, horror, fantasy, romance, Avengers, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, everything, which I think is really neat. So 900 pages, almost 900 pages, $100 hardcover. Got this one cover, and this is the direct market variant for it. Have you moved it? Have you changed it? You haven't changed
No.
it. Okay. This is Anticipate My Every Need. This is a direct market cover for it.
It's 900 pages, but probably 3,000 pages worth of words.
Yeah.
Knowing Stan Lee's writing.
Mhm.
So it'll take you a while to read this.
Oh, yes.
Okay, then we have a new omnibus. This is Star Wars Legends of the Rebellion Omnibus Volume 1. This is our main cover. This covers, this is doing more of like the Dark Horse stuff. So collects Empire, issue 7, 14, 16 through 17, Vader Quest 1 through 4, Star Wars from the 2013 series 1 through 20, but also some interesting stuff that you probably don't see too often. Star Wars Kids from 97, collecting issues 1 through 12 and 13 through 20, and Star Wars 3D 1 through 3. So those are probably ones that you might not have in your collection.
Did you say Star Wars Kids?
Yep.
So it's like Star Wars Muppet Babies?
I wish. I think it was from a kid's comic, maybe even the magazine. I'm not sure. But, I mean, it at least ran through 12 issues.
Well,
so.
Muppet Baby Star Wars is an idea I just had, but I give it out freely if you know.
Muppet Babies even did a Star Wars episode.
Get on that
Very
Dark
good.
Horse or Marvel.
And then there is also the direct market variant.
Okay, so we're back to We Have Demons. So only 2 issues are out, and they're already soliciting the graphic novel or the trade paperback. I'm really surprised about that.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So excellent series. Basically, it's about this girl named Lamb who she's grown up with a dad who was a preacher. Her dad, was a pastor. They had a falling out. She went off her own way, became sort of a scientist, kind of turned her back on all that. But upon her dad's death, she finds out that he had all these secrets that she thought were just like, not good secrets. But it turns out he was a demon-fighting guy with a partner who's like a monster. And they've been fighting demons for ages and ages. And her birthright makes her part of this demon-fighting team. They have special weapons. There's ancient history on where these weapons came from. And she has to find sort of her faith in things just outside of the known to be able to make her weapon work. Written by Scott Snyder, who has a great but dark sense of humor. But more than that, he's just a really good storyteller. Awesome art by Greg Capullo, I already went on and on about. So I think this is, if you're, some people, they don't pick up the monthly comics. They wait for the trades. I go ahead and put this on your list to pick up or ask your comic store for it. real good, and I think more and more people are going to sign up on this as more people kind of talk about how good it is inside of it, not just the covers. So we have Demons trade paperback.
All right, this is the Tarzan. I was trying to look up the official title. Tarzan of the Apes hardcover, Volume 1. It's going to be $30. This was previously only available to subscribers of the Edgar Rice Burroughs website, but it reprints his origin and early adventures in Sunday newspaper format. It's kind of long, as you can tell, so that's pretty cool. Landscape format. Hardcover, $30. Adaptations of Edgar Rice Burroughs' classic tales, scripted by Roy Thomas and illustrated by Pablo Marcos.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if when you opened the book, it did the Tarzan call?
That'd be fun the first time, and every other time you're like
Too
trying to
much.
flip through it really fast. But no, Roy Thomas's stuff. If people have never read some of his like adventure-y, that kind of stuff, very good. And then we have Avatar: The Last Airbender Chibi hardcover, Volume 1, which it's a hardcover and everything, and it's only $7.99. So this is Aang's Unfreezing Day, and it's about Aang and his friends. His friends are celebrating the day that he got unfrozen, and they're going to throw like a surprise party for him. So it sounds like a fun kind of younger reader hardcover, fun for the whole family. And Avatar still rocking it.
Yep.
Still getting I believe a Netflix live action movie. I think that's where it's going. But yeah, for all you Avatar fans, we sell out of the hardcovers all the time. Pre-order this one.
All right, that's our show for today.
Make sure that you, in addition to subscribing to our YouTube channel, go check us out on the Whatnot app. We have a show tonight at 8 p.m. It's going to be Amazing Spider-Man versus Batman. Andy has an action figure show on Wednesdays, and we're just doing all sorts of stuff on that, so make sure to go check us out on Whatnot. And we also have a link to our Instagram and all that good stuff below. So until next week, thank you so much, and have a great rest of the weekend.